All right, so welcome everybody. Our special guest today is Amherst Fire Chief and Emergency Management Director, Tim Nelson. Welcome.
Hello. Hey, how you doing?
He's joining myself, Brianna, and your town manager, Paul Bockelman. So before we launch into questions, I just want to remind everybody this is being recorded, and I'm going to give an opportunity for Paul to give you any updates he has.
Sure. Thanks, Brianna. So this is on Monday, the new Board of Health regulation that requires the wearing of masks in the downtown area, basically from Lincoln Ave to Triangle Street to College Street, Northampton Road, went into effect. And we've received a lot of people saying, well, how are you going to enforce it? What's it going to do? And it's really an educational thing. We really want people to start wearing masks if they aren't, to educate them that they should, to create a culture of compliance. We are not going to be running around giving tickets to people if they're not wearing masks. That's not, we know that that's not effective. And we've talked with the university a lot about the techniques that they've used in the past. And we'll be utilizing and employing a number of people who will be out and about if someone doesn't have a mask, offering them a mask, educating them, saying, oh, this is a place where you have to have a mask on, and supporting businesses as they, if they have any issues. And we're going to be sort of following the university's Walk This Way program, which has been very successful over the years, and helping to leverage some of their student ambassadors basically to work in the area. So that's exciting to us, and we think that will be up and running by the time classes resume, which is around August 24th. I know that we've already started to interview people for those positions. So that's the big thing coming up. Other than, Tim will talk about this. We had a pretty crazy storm on Tuesday where he is flying around the town trying to literally put out 1 million fires.
So just to follow up on some of the content that Paul just shared regarding the mask order, you can find the complete language of the order as well as the map on both our homepage, amherstma.gov, as well as our COVID information page, which is amherstcovid19.org. So if you want to look further into that, you can find it at both of those places. So I guess we're going to launch into some questions because as Paul mentioned, we had a little bit of a crazy weather spurt in the last few days.
A little bit.
Just a little,
A little bit.
So some questions we have around that is, Tim, we had a tornado call on Sunday and then the Tuesday storms. How do you and your team prepare for this? When do you start preparing for weather type events like this?
Well, as you know, I'm a bit of a weather geek. I'm a pilot, so I'm a weather geek. Well, for us, the prediction for Sunday, that there'd be some pretty tough weather came 2 or 3 days prior to the event. So we'll start to look at that and just kind of one of the things we'll do is see how we're staffed for that day. And just making sure that our equipment is all set to go, and that our staff is aware of what could go on. And then on Sunday we were like everyone else, we were watching the weather. And as it began to build up, we saw that there were more to a tornado. It went from a tornado watch to the tornado warning, and which meant that either someone saw it or radar showed that there was some rotation going on within a thunderstorm. And I was home, I was watching it, and the thing is, you could see on the track that the storms were going from southwestern Mass and going to the northeast on a track direct towards Northampton and Amherst. The lucky thing for us is that the tornado went through, I think, Sandusfield, Blandford, and I believe Tallinn. And as it came up through the hills, it began to lose some of its strength. So we still had a thunderstorm. We still had some winds and rain, but the tornado had pretty much dissipated, but it still came on a track straight through. So as you know, I got in touch with you, and we put out that blast alert for folks to heed the warnings, take shelter, and that type of thing. So that's our standard. That's usually how we run, you know, things like this, which leads me to putting in a plug for folks to sign up for our alerts. It's easy. Just go to the website. Why don't you explain since you're so good at that?
It's my specialty.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we got a big uptick in subscriptions after Sunday, so that's always a good thing. You can easily text Join Amherst, the words Join Amherst, to 30890, and that'll automatically put that cell phone on our alerts. Alternatively, if you visit our preparedness page, amherstma.gov/prepare, we have the signups there as well, as well as preparedness information. And if you sign up online, you can create an account, you can set up your own language choice. I think we've got almost 60 to 65 different languages you can choose to receive those calls and alerts. And they go out instantaneously. It's a really good system. So we encourage you, if you're not already signed up, to do so, and maybe ask your neighbors or friends and family to do the same. So I just want to take a quick chance to remind folks who are in attendance that you can use the Q&A function to pop your questions into the room, or you can raise your hand from Zoom or *9 from a phone. We'd love to hear from you live or through Q&A. And with that said, we have a question from Abby. Where are we in developing regulations that limit gathering sizes, outdoor and indoor? This is urgent. Last week, 6 students tested positive. They live off campus. Did contact tracing work? This cluster illustrates the urgent need for the town to develop regulations that limit the size of gatherings. What is the status of forming these regulations?
Well, it's a really timely question because that is on the agenda for the town council on Monday night. Setting regulations for limiting gathering is fairly, especially on private property, becomes more complex because it applies to everyone at all times, and it becomes very incredibly difficult to enforce. So if someone is having a birthday party for their 5-year-old, that would come into play, as well as someone you know, doing whatever event that they might be having. So trying to monitor if there's 10 people in a house or whatever the number that the council says it wants to do is a big challenge for the police department. And also, you know, there's a definite sort of constitutional privacy issue in terms of what people are allowed to do on their private property, etc. So right now, if people are outside and we can observe things, that's one thing. Our bigger fear, quite frankly, is when people are inside, and that's where our health director fears is the greatest risk for spread of disease. And managing that on private property is a big issue. But this is a conversation that the council wants to have. They've heard from the constituents that that's a major concern for many of our residents, and that will be a topic for discussion on Monday. And so I encourage you, Abby, to join into that meeting at 6:30.
And all those meetings will be broadcast on Channel 17 via Amherst Media's live stream and from the Zoom link right in the calendar posting itself. So if you need any help accessing that, please let us know. So we have another question here. With coming close to the start of school, have you seen an uptick in calls for services, Chief?
Yeah, well, we have, but I don't, you know, I don't think you can say that it's because, you know, students are making their way back. I think people are becoming more active here in town. Folks are beginning to get out a little more. So between that and the fact that some of the students are coming back, and all the folks that work services that support the schools, we're beginning to see an uptick slow but sure. I mean, we were down when the whole pandemic pretty much took its hold. Our calls probably went down about 40%. So, but now we're beginning to see a little, as I said, a little bit of an up and uptick, and that's just a function, as you said, of folks beginning to come back to town, beginning to get a little more active.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
So another thing, you know, about our fire department and your team is that they're known for all of their extra engagement and outreach beyond your regular,
Sure.
you know, everyday
Sure. Right.
responsibilities. So are you guys thinking of ways that you can continue this in this new landscape of not being able to have events in person?
It's different. It's tough. We have a very robust school fire prevention program, and depending on how the schools will roll out, that is going to have an effect on it. And it's been successful for, my God, 25 years now. As you know, I started out in a whole fire, and you know, we wanted our program to be like Amherst. You know, that's the thing. We are the benchmark for the state. Along with that, everybody loves our open house. That comes at the beginning, at the beginning of fire prevention weekend in October. This week, prevention week, is October 4th through the 10th. At times, I think folks come for the donuts, but that's
why I go.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, but we got to get you in the door. Okay, so one of the things that we're kicking around now is to do it for virtually, you know, and we're kind of kicking around my idea so that we can still have some type of outreach, and you know, and share some time and share some good information with folks. It just won't be at, you know, say face to face, you know. So that's one of the big things we're working on. So stay tuned.
And we'll work out that donut delivery between now and then.
Yeah, I guess maybe, you know, drive around town, tossing out apple cider donuts. It could work. It could work. You know?
Yeah. So when that's set in stone, we'll push that out there to make sure everybody is aware of the opportunity.
That'll be good. That'll be cool. That'll be cool.
So another question we have here, and I know you've probably gotten this in the past and have answered it, but in what ways has COVID impacted your daily operations with your team and responding to calls?
As everyone knows, the whole world has changed, you know, because of pandemic, and we're not immune to that. What it's done for us is we have to take even further steps to protect our personnel when we're going out on call. It means we're wearing. I mean, we can get a say a smoke detector call, and we're putting on a mask and gloves and that type of thing. When we go out on inspections, we're wearing all the personal protective equipment. Okay, we're doing that type of thing. When we're going out on the medical calls, we're one of the things we'll do is we'll start from a distance, maintaining separation to begin our assessment of the patient, unless it's an exigent circumstance. But then, you know, and we'll talk to the patient. Then we'll take steps to protect them. We'll give them PPE, personal protective equipment. That's to protect them. It's to protect us at the same time. Because again, we're only 6 months into this, and there's still a lot we don't know about this virus. So it may seem that we're at times folks might think that we're doing too much to protect ourselves, but I can't take that chance with our personnel. We have not had a single member of this department get sick, calm down with this. So, and that's because we began early, taking those steps to protect us and the public that we serve. So that's something we're we're very proud of.
Yeah, so I just want to chime in on that because it was really instructive when we first started meeting as a core team with the chief. You know, his first thing was force protection. We have to protect the first responders so they can respond to the people who are in need. And he was out there way ahead of other people securing emergency management supplies, PPE, and always scrounging and, you know, begging, borrowing, I won't say stealing, but talking to acquiring MEMA and getting a stockpile so we were always secure. And that he was also responsible for all the town departments. So that included police and DPW, but also LSSE and other places. So he was, you know, everything funneled through his department in terms of acquiring all of the emergency management supplies. And he was even getting equipment for the Craig Store's homeless shelter. So it's been really remarkable effort. And, you know, Tim has tremendous contacts throughout the county and throughout the state. And so that's really put the town in good stead for, and it's an ongoing process because we don't know how long this is going to go. And when I think we're pretty well stocked up. Tim, would you say?
Yeah, we are. You know, and as you said, it's an ongoing process, and it's an adaptive process because things, you know, we're getting new information every day from all types of sources. So at times we have to adapt how we deal with this. And I like to say we because I've got this great team that I lead. I've got some really smart folks who are working here, and we're coming up with ways to deal with this because really our I guess you call our prime directive is that we're going to take care of people, and you know, and the best way to do that is to protect ourselves first, and then we can better serve the folks out. So I'm extremely proud of the folks that I work with every day.
Another thing I want to bring up was Tuesday. I thought was really interesting because there was a very short period of time, and there were dozens of calls coming into dispatch, and dozens and dozens. They're stacked up, and so first, you know, a shout out to dispatch because they were triaging these calls, and it's I don't know, there's 4 people up there. You know, there's usually one.
There were 3. Yeah, there were 3, and usually there's 2.
And so one is dedicated to working the fire line, one's dedicated to police, and they're communicating. They're talking to DPW. They're shutting down roads. There were fires being reported everywhere. I heard Tim sort of responding himself in his car to one fire to investigate because you have to make an assessment. And so it was just it just made me really proud to be part of this team because you saw dispatch, DPW, fire, police, assembling resources, making decisions in real time, saying, no, you don't need to go there, go here. We need this road closed, get up there. And like everything was moving around. Trees were falling down. You had DPW out there trying to clear the path. But the biggest thing was like there were like, they said, we've got 25 calls and we're trying to, and you know, calling Eversource and saying we need these things. It was just a real tour de force in terms of our emergency and first responders. It was just fascinating to watch it in real time because I listen to it on the scanner. I don't do anything. I listen and I drive around and look at things. But to see, you know, the chief out there himself, you know, saying, I'll take the one on East Hadley Road, I'll investigate it, see if it's anything that we really need to send an apparatus to or not, and then moving on to the next call when he clears that one. So it was pretty interesting to pay attention to. And I think we all appreciate that. I know the taxpayers do in town and the residents, because it really is about commitment to public safety.
and we've got this public safety team. It's fire, police, it's DPW, all and dispatch, all working as a team. We had, let's see, we had trees and wires down on Pine Street. We had trees and wires down and burning on West Pomeroy. We had trees and wires down on West Bay, all at the same time. And the West Pomeroy call was interesting because we still had folks that were still in their homes. And one of the big things is stay where you are. Don't go outside. That type of thing. So we had simultaneous calls going on. Power outages. We were answering calls because of the lack of power. So there are all kinds of things going on. But the flow was great because the team, it's a multifaceted team that works well together.
And there was a domestic violence call that the police had to respond to, and
Yep.
these are different. They have to prioritize these things. There's a woman who's experiencing heart palpitations or something in a car, I heard, and again, checking in on all these things. And do you send an ambulance? Where do you position people? And so those calls don't stop coming in. And then there was, and I think the other thing that we need to credit our partners, because Amherst College and Hampshire College dedicated their security forces to help with road closures, and UMass helped with one of the police calls to support. When you go to a domestic violence call, you need support because you don't know what you're walking into. So it was neat to see all the police forces, all the public safety forces stepping up and saying, we can cover Bay Road for you. You guys can go do something else.
It was great. It was a good team effort, and on the public side, they heeded the warnings, and no one got hurt because of the storm. I mean, that's a big deal, right? Folks will listen and did as they should to protect themselves.
Yeah, I appreciate.
It's huge. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think there's like 25 people still out, Tim. How many in Amherst? Are there a handful of people still
out? There's a handful out. Western Mass did okay. I mean, there's still about 8,000 customers out in Western Mass, but here in town, I think last I checked, it's about 25 or 30. So that.
And do you know where they are?
No, I don't. It's spotty. Mm-hmm. Right now they got the main bulk cleared up the other last night, and now it's just spots. Where say a tree came down and took down a line to one or two homes. So they've got to go to individual homes and tie them back and again. So that type of thing.
Great.
We had a comment in the room from Linda saying congratulations to Chief Nelson for his foresight and for taking good care of us all. So I wanted to share that.
Well, thanks. And again, I've got to say, it's not just me. I'm lucky to work with all these folks day in, day out. They're the ones that they're the boots on the ground. They're the ones that do the heavy lifting. My job is to get them what they need and stay out of their way. So
I like that. We're getting close to our 30-minute mark. I know that went by quick.
Wow.
So I want to remind everybody in the room, now's your chance if you have a comment to pop into the Q&A or a question, or simply raise your hand via Zoom so we can hear from you. We have a couple minutes left before we wrap, so I would encourage you to do that now. We'll give people a chance. And I just want to say I appreciate both Paul and Chief Nelson mentioning, I'm a little biased here, but incorporating crisis communications and DPW into that picture of public safety and first responders, because people don't always think of them, but it's essential to support fire and police with communications and with the public works. So that's really important thing to
That's
mention.
huge. Yes, you are our go-to, okay? Yes, you are.
I was thinking more about our dispatchers because
Well, yeah,
they're there
they are, but
24/7.
they are. But
But thank you.
no, you're big. I mean, again, it's a team thing. It's all about the team, and everybody brings a skill to the dance. And days like Tuesday night, that's when we need all those skills. So.
Hmm.
When you drive down Main Street, you look at the police station. If you look at the top floor and you see some lights on up there, that's our dispatch
That's our
center.
dispatchers.
And they're there 24/7, and they have a
Absolutely.
little kitchen up there, and they have a little bathroom. But other than that they're not allowed to leave there. And keeping those folks healthy has been a high priority for us as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they do a terrific job.
Amazing job.
So I don't see any hands in the room. Oh wait, let's see. I got a Q&A. Okay, so Abby says one of the best ways to keep our first responders safe is to keep infection rates low in our community. We need regulations now to limit gatherings. And Abby, I'm not sure if you're able to potentially attend or make a comment at the meeting on Monday, but you're obviously welcome to attend and send your public comments in if you can't make it live to the town council, because I'm sure they would love to hear your opinion on this. So thank you for sharing that. All right, so any words you want to leave the community with, Chief, that you didn't get to touch on yet?
Just again, stay safe. Heed the warnings that you're going to hear from time to time. It's still summertime. It's still a stormy time. So just pay attention and be safe. That's it.
And sign up for emergency alerts.
And, oh yes, I'm sorry. Sign up for emergency alerts.
And if people have trouble with that, they can get in touch with me at any point too at info@amherstma.gov. But again, it's at the bottom of every single one of our web pages. No matter which page you land on, there's a little orange button that says Civic Ready. Click that and you'll be brought to the screen to sign up. So without seeing any other comments or question or hands, Paul, did you have any parting words?
Just the next couple of weeks, you're going to talk about that?
Oh, yes. So we're going to take a brief hiatus from community chats for the next couple of weeks, just to go around people's schedules. So you won't be seeing us in this format for the next couple of weeks. So if you miss us, feel free to send us an email and we'll respond to your questions directly. And then hopefully we'll be back either in this format or a new format when we're back in 2 weeks. So we'll have more information. We'll put it all out there to everybody to let you know how you can connect with us.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you both. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Peace.
day.
Thanks, Tim.
All right. Bye-bye.